leave the skin on because that's where all the minerals are. And a quarter of an onion, an avocado oil, there's a little bit of parsley, salt and pepper, and garlic powder. I'm gonna throw a little bit of minced garlic in too, but I like to let this cook for a little. Potatoes are cooking. I put a clementine, some blueberries, and some strawberries on the plate. I've been drinking my orange juice and now just made coffee. Just gonna put some almond milk in it, and that's it. Honestly, I used to really like sweet coffees, but once I drove from New York to Florida in a 21-hour drive, I was literally just chugging coffee and milk. So I'm okay with this. Getting in some sunbathing. Ghost adventures around a little bit. Perfect day. Are you happy, lady? You've been running around all morning and in the sun? This is what a cabin in the Adirondacks looks like. How stinking cute. So many details, even the lights up there. Can you even with this table? This is just the best little hangout spot, and it's so nice because it just acts as like a beautiful little sunroom, and you can just get the fresh air and look at the view of the mountains. I miss mountains so much. There's no mountains in Florida. Sitting here editing and creating some content. Just wanted to show you how stinking cute is this ceiling. Excited, Ross and Bree brought me some beautiful squash from their garden. Truly, I love nothing more than something directly from the garden. And they brought me some really awesome incense. So grateful for Ross and Bree for bringing these up and for coming to hang out for the day. They were the ones that I hung out with in Florida, if you watched my Florida vlogs. Today was such a fun day. My friends Bree and Ross came up from the Catskills and we went on an adventure all around Lake George. There was a farmer's market going on. We got to go to a pizza place that had an amazing gluten-free pizza. They were able to get slices and they were like the size of your head, traditional New York pizza. And then mine, I had to get a whole gluten-free pizza by myself. It's normally a 4-cut when they use the pre-made crust, and that crust sucks. If you're gluten-free, you know what I'm talking about. So this place actually makes their gluten-free dough from scratch. The pizza was 6 pieces. It was amazing. We got to sit outside and overlook Lake George. We walked around. I showed them the views of the lake. We actually got dropped off in a convertible and then we walked all the way back. So it was totally epic, perfect summer day. They are moving out of New York very soon and I am still not sure how long I will be in New York. If you don't know, I'm in New York right now because my mother is getting married again. And so I needed to come back to try on my dress, make sure it got fitted in time since I'm one of the bridesmaids with my sister. So I came back from Myrtle Beach. And being in the Adirondacks has been so incredible for me. I really missed seeing mountains. There's no mountains in Florida where I was for 3 months before that. In southern Florida, I was in Boca Raton, and then I went to Myrtle Beach for a month, and then I came back here. Just been so amazing for my soul. Views are they're just everything here. It's so nice. I've been going on boat rides. I've been swimming in the lake. We went yesterday, actually. So perfect. At one point, we were the only ones in the water. It was so good to see my friends and to have like a great hangout sesh. I love them because they're both so like-minded and they do not prescribe to the fear-based agenda that is going on. And I'll be honest with you, that's been the hardest part about being in New York is there's a lot of fear-based agenda that's ruling the state of New York and it's taking over the people's lives that live in New York. I truly felt a dramatic shift in my mental health, in my anxiety, in my depression. They both skyrocketed. To be fully honest and transparent, they both skyrocketed when I got to New York. The first day being in New York was just so brilliant because I was just able to soak up all the vibes of the mountains and really just let it all soak in. And I'm someone that when I travel to places, I allow myself to absorb the energy of the places and I release any energy that isn't serving my highest good. So I have really been trying to keep myself in as high of a vibe as possible. General rule, I never watch the news. Tony Robbins has a famous quote and I love quoting it because it's so true. The news is not meant to inform you, it's meant to keep you stuck in fear. And I'm summarizing, that's not verbatim what he says, but that is essentially what the news is. So if you're someone that's been struggling with your mental health, your emotional health, with your actual physical health, you've been binge eating or whatever the case may be, I want you to know that you're not alone, but I also want to give you some tips by saying, stop watching the news. Even during a time like this, you don't need to watch the news because it's only gonna spin the same story over and over again. And that story's never gonna be promoting health, happiness, and well-being. So really, especially with manifestation and mental health, whatever you focus on is what manifests in your life. And if you're constantly watching the news, especially first thing when you wake up and last thing before you go to bed, and you have the news showing up on your phone all day long, it's going to keep you in a state of fear and it's going to be so much harder for you to raise your vibration, for you to have happiness. So that is like my biggest tip for this time. And also, let's be honest, In America, we do not have a government that cares about your health. If they did, they would ban GMOs. They would ban half the ingredients that are allowed in foods. They would promote sustainable farming. They would promote eating plant-based. They would have restrictions on the type of meat that you can eat. Because if we look at the cows right now in the mainstream farming industry, they're not taking care of the animals. They're not feeding them right. And therefore, you're not getting as much nutrition and protein out of it. And as a general rule, most humans are not protein deficient. We are fiber deficient and mineral deficient. So these are the things that you really need. So my recommendations for this time, for all times, will always be get outside, hikes in nature. If you're not able to go hiking in nature, get outside and go to a local park, sit outside somewhere, breathe in some fresh air, soak up sunlight. Sunlight is good for you. I know that everyone's on this, sunlight's the enemy. Sunlight is not the enemy. The sun is actually a cure for so many things. Sun gazing early in the morning, sit outside and meditate. I sit outside and meditate every morning because that's really how I like to start my day. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water. Make sure you're drinking mineral water, not fluoride filled water, not water that's gotten everything removed from it. Because as I just said, we're mineral deficient. Make sure you're drinking a lot of vitamin C. If you don't live in a climate where you have a lot of sunlight, take supplements. Make sure that they're plant-based supplements so that you're not putting more unhealthy things in your body. So many ways for you to stay healthy during this time and any time, and they all start with the basics. Eat more vegetables, eat more fruit. Try and eat organic and local. If you have anyone that has a farm around you or a garden around you, trade with them. If you have your own garden, barter with them. It's a symbiotic relationship. That's how nature thrives, and we are a part of nature. And that's why the next thing we're gonna do is go cook some of these beautiful squashes that Bree and Ross brought me from their garden. I'm so grateful. I'm just so grateful for it. It's just so unfortunate right now that if you are a free thinker and someone that does not buy into the mainstream agenda, that you are being bullied, you're being attacked, you feel like you can't express yourself, and you can't because you're getting censored, and there's all of these controls going on that really aren't put in place for human health. They're put in place to keep you in fear, because people that are in fear lose their power. They give their power away, and that's how we're easily controlled. So I'm always going to be someone that advocates for you, for your health, and I'm going to tell you things that you might not like to hear, but somebody has to say it. We can't all be afraid, think how we want to think, and not share it with others, because we're doing a gross disservice to society right now by everybody only talking about the negatives, by everybody only focusing on what's going wrong, and no one's telling the truth about what's actually happening in the world. I do want to preface this by saying, if you don't know my background, I am not a conspiracy theorist. I am not someone that is completely anti-government, but I did also work for the government, for the state of New York, for 8 years. And I left during all of this because I could not, in my heart and soul, and be contributing to the fear-based agenda is just how I'm gonna leave it. If you are someone that is feeling like you can't talk to your family and you can't talk to your friends and you can't get away from this fear-based agenda, you're not alone. There are so many of us that are here for the truth, that are here to promote personal well-being, to take your personal power back. There's so many of us that are here for you. It's just unfortunate that we are all being silenced and censored in a way so that we can't talk about this openly. And that is why I'm very conscious of the words I'm using right now. And I am a little more closed-lip than I would honestly like to be about this. If you really feel like you need to have a conversation with someone about this, and if you really feel like you just are alone and you just want to have some human connection and you feel like you are supported, honestly, please DM me on Instagram. We can have a really uncensored conversation, because I'm here to support you. I'm here to tell you you're not alone. Please, I urge you, find people online that have similar mindsets.
don't watch the news, talk to people and follow people that are actually promoting healthy lifestyles and taking the time every once in a while to post something to educate you that's going to probably trigger other people because it doesn't go along with the narrative that is being put out. The paradigm shifted last year, and the paradigm is shifting so that light workers, star seeds, people that want to have healthy lives, people that want to have freedom-filled lives, so that they get to come out and they get to thrive. And I'm telling you, if you are here during this time, you're here to help carry us forward. You are a leader of tomorrow. And as we saw in 2020, every single system that was unjust, inaccurate, and systematically problematic, it's getting broken down. And that didn't stop in 2020. It's ongoing. It's an ongoing effort. And it takes a lot, especially to put yourself out online and then to hear the backlash in the comments. Oh, that I do. Anybody that tries to follow me on Instagram, because that's where I hang out daily and share the majority of my life until this, I block anyone who tries to follow me that doesn't have a profile picture, if they don't post any photos, if someone can't even take the time to post, but they're gonna spend all of the time to complain and to cause fights and drama in your comment section. Don't allow it, because that person obviously can't even show up as themselves and they have their own issues to work on. So don't let them project on you. There are so many ways for you to keep your mental health good and your emotional health good, even being someone that shows up a lot on social media. I have tons of tips and tricks. These are what I teach my clients to do. Because I am a coach, I traditionally work with women because I'm sick of seeing women competing in a world where they're overworked, underpaid, and undervalued. And I truly believe the only way for us to effectively change that is to create our own worlds. Create your own business so that you get to show up the way you want to show up. So you get to structure your day how you want to structure your day. So when there's insanity going on in the world, in the nation, you aren't going to lose money because of your health beliefs that are being imposed on. Or you're not going to have to listen to this toxic culture all day long while you're at work. Especially because they're going to put you in a cubicle and not have you move all day long, so that way you reach for unhealthy food. You're not getting enough vitamin C. You're not moving enough. We're creating a society that is a sick society, and sick societies operate in a basis of fear. And that's where we've been. But we're in the age of Aquarius, baby. I am an Aquarius. It is our time, baby. I am here to help you through this. I've got you. Okay, so I'm going to make some veggies and some rice. So this is white basmati rice. I personally love basmati and jasmine rice. They're my favorites. Cup of rice. I always pour the rice in first because rice gets covered with the water anyway. And if you pour the water in and then do the rice all gets stuck in here. So I always put the rice, then the water. So 1 cup of rice. Turn on the stove, put it on medium-high, and then I'm going to let that boil. Just 1 head of broccoli off. You're going to throw this in the oven, add some seasonings to it. Okay, so we are going to take some parsley flakes, sprinkle those over it. We're going to take a lot of garlic powder. Garlic powder. I love me some garlic, and there is nothing better than some roasted broccoli that is garlicky. Okay. We're gonna take some crushed red pepper flakes. Sprinkle a few of these on there. And then we are going to add some pepper. Love pepper, so generous amount of that, and some salt. So I preheated the oven to 450. We're gonna throw these in. Okay, so I just rinsed off the cutting board and the knife because broccoli gets everywhere. I threw the broccoli in the oven and I ended up covering the rice. All right, so we're gonna cut off the ends. And then I like my squash to be a little thicker, not super thick, but this is a good size piece for me. It's okay. We're gonna cut the bigger pieces into maybe like 6s because they're pretty big. All right. Yeah, there we go. Well, this one we can do again too. All right, and my thing is, I think vegetables are super pretty when they are just all different shapes and sizes. So one thing you'll notice with me is I'm never going to be like, oh, it's, you know, we gotta have a square shape. You're gonna just watch me cut, and then the shapes that they come out, the shapes that they come out. Now, I will just season these since they're already here. Let's do parsley again, some garlic again, and pepper. All right, a little bit of salt, which is an oil that has the highest smoke point, and I'm gonna use this to coat the bottom of my pan. Now of avocado oil, and then we're just gonna dump in the squash in here. This is the rest of the onion from the hash browns I made earlier. So what I'm gonna do is just cut this up. Now we're just gonna throw this in. Now what I like to do while I am waiting for things to cook, this is when I start cleaning up. So that way by the time I am done cooking, I have no cleaning to do, or a little cleaning to do.
I'm gonna take this, stir it around. If you forget to timer on your rice, just open it up when it looks like there is no water left in it, which is right now for me. And I can tell that this is done because it's basmati rice and this is what it's meant to look like. But if you can't tell, and try a little bit. I am going to turn the oven off for this that was on medium heat, and I'm just gonna cover it, put it on a burner that isn't on. This is not done. I'm gonna pour in some avocado oil for the rice, and then just drizzle some salt and pepper in it. Stir this again, looking good. They're almost done, so what I'm gonna do is pop in some cherry tomatoes. Stir this a little bit till I get the tomatoes in there, and it does need a little more garlic. So I'm just gonna take some minced garlic and add. It's ready. It's roasted perfectly. This is what the finished product looks like. Oh my God, it smells so good. It looks so good. I'm so excited. And I am going to drink a mineral water with it. This is not the best mineral water, and I normally like glass water bottles. Any mineral water is better than no mineral water.
So now that I made a late lunch / early dinner, I am going to enjoy it. What you got? You got your favorite toy? Do you have your favorite toy, you happy little wiggle? This toy, y'all, if you have a big dog, this is the best toy. Can I see it? Can I have your toy? We'll see if we can get it over. No. Okay. Well, this toy is a Kong crinkle toy, and it is the best dog toy that will ever hold up. As you can see, this one is ripped a little bit, but it happens like every 9 months, and then I buy her a new one because that's Miss Ghost's favorite toy in the whole wide world. And she's had a different color, and she will always have one. So throughout this series, you will see Ghost and her bone. This is not sponsored by Kong, but if you have a big dog, if you have a dog that's quite strong, and this is the crinkle, that's what it sounds like, so good. And if you have a big dog that destroys toys, I'm telling you, the Kong toys are where you need to be. Ha, Ghosty. Say, yes, Ghosty approved. Ghosty approved. Nature walk / hike. It's a bike trail. It's perfect. I just love it so much. It's the best for a reset. I always suggest to any of my clients, any of my friends, anybody, that if you are feeling stagnant,
You got your phone. But don't you worry, because I'll be walking a hell of a lot longer than I'll be recording. But look at how gorgeous. Miss Ghost is one happy lady. And that's honestly so true. Like a lot of people that I know, their dogs are a reflection of themselves. So I'm like, would Ghost be as active if I wasn't so active? Chicken or the egg? I'm not really sure. But we hike a lot. It is our favorite pastime. That is one of the biggest problems I had with Southern Florida. The park that exists says it's not dog friendly. There's basically nowhere you can bring your dog in Florida besides some dog parks, and then some restaurants will let you take them. But I have a big dog. Ghost is 72 pounds and she's leggy as fuck, so she's really tall. You can't go anywhere with your dog. So this is normally what we do every single day and every weekend, and it was still missed. Finally, this piece just ripped out, and then now she goes crazy to try and get the inside out. It won't take her long. Popped open this bottle of wine. I drink Cabernet Sauvignon. That's what you'll always find me drinking. And I am taking a break from editing and watching My Unorthodox Life on Netflix. I am just in love with this show. There's so much women empowerment. There's so much about breaking out of the paradigm that you were born into. Truly, truly just in love with it. Highly recommend.